officially voted no for the union. There's going to be more information coming out. No, the Cal State LA place is closed already. It was open for a day and it's already like fucking fully booked. So Bessemer, Alabama, Amazon unionization efforts have come to a close as the vote tally showed that the vote tally showed that the Amazon workers had voted against unionizing in Alabama, according to reports. Now, this was a really huge deal because the timing of it was perfect. As a consequence of COVID, everyone was caring about, for the first time ever, caring about essential workers. There's a lot of, delivery people, like people that work in the logistics that normally are not seen as like frontline workers or seen as important. We recognize how vital they were as a society. Even Joe Biden fucking talked about it. It was historic in many different ways, and it would have been an incredible opportunity. And yet, still, the anti-union side and all of the propaganda, brainwashing, intimidation, harassment on Amazon's side ended up winning in the unionization argument, and they voted against it. They fucked up the organizing. They just pushed it too quick without organizing on the bargaining unit. I don't know enough about like. I don't know how what they could have done better. I just am specifically going to talk about the other side. But it was still, look, anytime workers organize against the power of capital, anytime workers organize against the power of capital, and they get this far, it's still a W. Okay, so you cannot be upset. You cannot get upset. It's still historic. It's still good. It sucks that they fucking lost, but ultimately it's a cause for hope.
Well,
Hold on, I gotta grab something real
right
quick.
now, that union is not going to go in favor of those who are supporting it, but the results have just been counted, and we're waiting for the official word to come down about 11:30, so we'll, of course, bring that to you as soon as we get it. But some background info for you now. The Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union is already saying it plans to challenge Amazon for what it calls interference with the workers' right to vote in a free and fair election. That challenge will be filed with the National Labor Relations Board. Over the past few months, we've covered countless rallies here in Bessemer as workers pushed for support to form a union. They're asking for better wages and calling for better working conditions. And some workers say even things like needing...
Bro, please stop fucking posting Instagram links in the chat. I'm not going to click on them.
...to go to the bathroom are frowned upon here. So again, counting just wrapped up a few moments ago. A news conference with the union is scheduled for 11:30 this morning. We're going to monitor that. We'll have new information for you throughout this newscast. For now, live in Bessemer near the Amazon warehouse, Chip Scarborough, WVTM 13.
All right, thanks, Chip. Now, if that vote had been approved, it would have become the first union for the tech giant. Now, officials from the Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union said that more than 3,200 votes were cast by Bessemer employees. That is about 55% of their workforce. Now, hundreds of those votes had already been contested. That was either by Amazon or by the union for a variety of reasons. And any margin for a winning decision had to be greater than that number of contested votes. Now, if it's not a hearing, will determine if they can be used toward the final vote tally.
Now, to understand all the hard work that has gone into this, we talked with Bart Maddox. He's from the Iron Workers Union. Tells us forming a union is all about support. Now, Mr. Maddox says, regardless of the outcome, Amazon employees are still being heard.
If you're young and you've never heard about unions before, if you've never thought about unions before, and a massive multinational corporation that you have overwhelmingly positive opinions on because that's where you buy all your shit and never really think about the inequalities that lead to you getting, immediate service, comes into your town, opens up a facility, starts paying $15 an hour when the minimum wage is just the federal minimum wage in your state across the board. And they start telling you, like, we're a family and these other guys are outsiders. And also think about it. They're just trying to take your money. They're just trying to take $500 from you on top of all the money that on top of the money that we are going to give you anyway. Like, you're putting yourself in harm's way. You're compromising your position here in a sweet fucking gig. You got a sweet thing going. Change is not good. Trust us. A lot of those people who have never recognized the benefits and the importance of unionization or labor unions are going to go, yeah, I guess I'll just, I'm fearful. I'd rather buy a PS5. Fuck this shit. I'm just going to, vote against the union. And that's, I suspect, what happened. We already talked about it yesterday that the Amazon had privately pressured the U.S. Postal Service to install an illegal ballot drop box during the union election in Bessemer out at the work facility with cameras literally pointed at it. So
a worker having a voice has gotten a lot more attention at that plant. So they're starting to be heard, and so even if this doesn't go, these workers have still expressed to the company and the owners that
union dues end up being paid for with the increase in pay. Absolutely. Listen, guys, because of unions, I mean, unions on average lead to 10% increase on your salary, regardless, or even higher than that percentage. 10% for even non-unionized employees, because when you have a fucking company unionized in your vicinity, other companies have to remain competitive, so they have to increase their salary as well. That is before we get to the actual many benefits that you get from your union. Look, the reality is your bosses are going to operate. Your bosses are always going to have their best interests at heart. Okay. So they're going to give you as little as they can with whatever they can get away with. If they can get away with not giving you workplace protections, they're going to do that. You have to fight back against that. And the only way that you can fight back against those who own capital under a capitalist system is by bargaining collectively, collective bargaining, getting together and showing that, no, you as the worker aren't as replaceable, especially when you have some checks put in place to showcase how non-replaceable you are. The only way to do that is by, again, labor unions and by work stoppages, striking. I've talked about this a million times over. But that is how it works.
We're human beings. We have a voice. We have things that need to be addressed, and you need to listen to us.
And again, much more from Bessemer within the hour.
If you want to understand why the Amazon union vote in Bessemer is so important, why the U.S. economy is so rigged in favor of the wealthy, so unequal, this one graph we aired on MSNBC, which should do the trick. Yeah, share of income going to the top 10%, whereas union membership dipping is... Well, this is also productivity versus wages remaining stagnant. Like, it is literally always the same graph. This looks nearly identical to productivity increases in comparison to wages. Like, it's always the same, because unions are supposed to be the way that you can push back against inequality in your workplace. Motherfucker saying Mike from PA posted it first. Oh, okay. No one else knew about it. Of course. We've talked about this a million times over, chat. Everybody knows about this. We've talked about this here as well. Look. Let's watch some of the.
So you think
some of the members?
you have mixed feelings on it?
Yes, sir.
How do you feel? Have you voted yet?
Yes, I have voted.
Did you vote for yes or no?
I'm gonna keep that to myself.
Okay. But what's your mixed feelings on it? How do you feel? Like, what's the upside?
Well, The upside is I guess they could make a few changes as far as brakes and stuff go. I mean, they would like probably have a few more brakes in there.
Yeah.
So. Well, the other part of it, I didn't know the union could really do a whole lot for wages and stuff, because I've heard, that they had another union, other place they was up, and the wages didn't really change that much, so I wasn't really sure about that. We was having meetings about, what the and what they spend their money on and stuff, and that had me kind of scratching my head. Kind of depends on what you work for. Like, my wife, she has a government job, and their union is a whole lot different.
He's saying, I've worked in a unionized facility in the past, and I always wondered where it was going, like where the fucking dues were going. I had mixed feelings on like what the union did for me.
But I think that, unions could do a whole lot more than.
The irony, of course, is that in that vicinity in Bessemer, Alabama, $15 minimum wage, $15 in comparison to the minimum wage is great, right? Except distribution facilities in the region that are actually fucking unionized have higher pay than that. They have, I think it's either $19 or up to $22 an hour. So that's the immediate benefit of unionization. It's like right there, right then and there.
Than what they actually do.
Yeah. How do you think? Do you think they'll win the vote or lose the vote? How are your colleagues feeling?
I think it's a possibility that they may get in, that they may win.
What are folks upset about that work here? I mean, what do they like and what are they upset about?
I think that, I think that people might want a couple more breaks a day or something like that, maybe a little more breaks, because it is,
It was canceling my Amazon subscription going to hurt the voters? I mean, you can do whatever you want, brother. I don't believe in, I don't think that the consumer side activism of that, consumer side activism like that is going to work to do anything. Like, good luck.
It can be taxing on you. I'm 59 years old, so I think it's a more of a place for a more younger generation than me. It can be physical on you, but if you let it get in your mind, I just go ahead and do what I got to do and take it one step at a time. So it don't really bother me that much. But I do know that by me being a truck driver, I know I can have. I can.
Like, your consumer side activism is not going to fucking change the minds of workers who are literally like, yeah, I don't know what this fucking union shit does for me.
It's a lot easier.
Remember, guys, like, it's not an accident that I forget who made this joke originally. I think it might have been Virgil Texas who made this joke, but it's like the left doesn't have finance reporters, just like the majority of capitalist mainstream media does not have good labor reporters for the most part. It's like it's not an area of focus or an area of interest. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, the way, and you see it in the coverage, the way that people cover, like, you rarely ever see fucking unionization efforts and work stoppages and strikes get expressed in like national mainstream media. You see it in local stories usually from time to time, but even then it's rarely ever addressed from a pro-union standpoint. Do you see what I'm saying? No. They cover it. They covered this one because it was fucking a huge story. And Mike Elk from the Payday Report did a good job. They're very small though. I'm literally looking at his coverage right now. This is the Payday Report. Mike Elk is the person who's interviewing these people.
I don't want to say anything too bad about RWDSU because that was just my opinion. I'm just speaking from my experience and my opinion. I don't want to try to represent anybody else other than myself.
So you think you have?
Amazon is handing out anti-union buttons and asking workers to display them on Laynards.
Yeah. Is it a good job for you here?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 20. No, 36.
36.
Yeah.
So this is a good job. It's a physically demanding job.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Bringing a union would be bad?
No. I don't think it'll be bad. I don't think. I'm both ways. So.
Where'd you get these pins that say "Vote No"?
From Amazon. They're giving them out.
Yeah. And so you wear them, and do a lot of people wear them?
Yeah. Everybody almost wears them.
And bosses want you to wear the pins like that?
Yeah.
So, wow. So what do you think? You think they're going to win or lose here?
Don't know.
And
We'll
your name's
see, though.
Daniel Traveris?
Tavares, yeah.
Tavares.
Yeah.
What do you think's important for people to know about this vote and how people are feeling?
That your voice matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, none of these dudes are going to be like, yeah, I'm fucking pro-union all the way, except for like the main organizers.
Love where I work, so
I guess I'm more so against it.
I'm just really, I guess I'm just in the middle.
Yeah. Did you vote? So you voted against it?
I did.
And what's it feel like, when they're handing out pins and talking to folks and telling folks to vote against the union?
I mean, that's just like an actual political vote. You can't really tell somebody how to vote or not, against someone. But I mean, it's just them, I guess, just trying to protect their business as well. For one, since I don't know, everything about it, and of course, I don't want someone coming in and changing everything, especially if certain things.
Do you think they would fire the people who did the wear no pins? No, dude. No. Motherfucker, this isn't like regular elections, okay? It's like regular elections if like one side literally had $0 and the other side had all the money and they ran the elections and they literally ran the system that ran the elections and they controlled the internet access that you had and also made you wear fucking pro one side's candidate pins. Like, it's not, at least like there is a duopoly, but there is like some sort of competition between two parties. Their interests might be aligned on many things in America, but at least there's still like two different parties that are functionally competing.
Are good in the situation, and if they come in, and I don't know how it's going to be, so it's just like I said, I guess a no win-win situation. Really.
Well, let me ask you this. So say things don't quite get better here.
Mm-hmm.
Things get worse, and they vote down the union.
They do fire activists that work against them and organize.
I mean,
100%.
I don't know. That's if I'm still here, so I don't know.
Yeah. What do you do here? What kind of work?
I'm a packer.
That's really physically demanding work.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm used to it because my last job, I was a manager, so it's nice to just be in charge of me. So it's okay. Yeah.
Has the union come to your house at all?
No, they haven't. No.
Have they been calling you?
I've probably had maybe one or two, but I really hadn't tried to hold the conversation. I'm just,
Yeah. It can be intense.
I'm just more so, I just like coming to work every day and, and enjoy my days off, so I'm cool.
Yeah. And it's good pay.
Bro, when people say shit is horrible, but I don't want anyone coming in and changing things, you have to remember, shit is horrible, but it was way worse even before that. Do you get it? Like, having no job is still worse than having a job where you're getting paid $15 an hour and you have to piss in a fucking bottle. And if you've been fucking whipped your entire wage slave career, you're literally like, well, I'm getting extra money here, like it's fine, like at least I'm getting more money. And then those guys turn around and they tell you like, these are outsiders and they're going to fuck this thing up that we have. It's like Stockholm syndrome for the most part. Yes. People who keep saying these people would make amazing peasants don't recognize that, like, if you were placed in a similar position and you didn't have the fucking knowledge, you might not be so fucking brave either. Like, it should never be about bravery. Voting yes for a union, voting yes for unionizing in your workplace should not be about doing a brave act, okay? It literally should not be. But unfortunately, it is. You get what I'm saying? In America, especially, it is. It's not the expectation that all these workplaces are supposed to be unionized. It's that most workplaces aren't. That's why we only have a 10% unionization rate in the United States of America. That's 5% lower than like Chile, for example, which is a country that we have devastated with our neoliberal economists ruining their country. Like, it's literally worse than fucking Chile, okay?
Here, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I think so, yes. I think so.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool to me. It's just, I I mean, if they come in and I mean, if things get better, hey, that's a great thing. But if they don't, it's just I'm more so versus the argument. I'll move on, and it's just the way it is.
Bringing her.
I mean, they gonna take money away from me, and I don't want no money took away from me. And I mean, Amazon ain't give me no reason to have somebody to support me.
Yeah.
I can support myself here. So.
Yeah, and you just don't. You think unions are just, they could get in the way of things.
I mean, I ain't gonna say that they can work out for some jobs, but I don't think Amazon need it. They good.
What were the meetings like? I heard they held meetings here against the union.
Oh yeah, they was cool. They was just telling us what the union is. They ain't speak nothing bad on them. They just told them what they do and stuff like that.
What did it feel like to be in these meetings? They were cool?
Yeah.
Was there food or was there?
Nah.
But everybody got like a break from work?
Nah.
Yeah.
It was straight. It wasn't nothing like that. I just like pull carts and stuff like that. Yeah. But I don't think it's too demanding. Like the manager said, they real cool and stuff like that. So
really,
yeah, it ain't no problem.
Motherfuckers be like, yo, I can't believe media is so fucking free in the Western nations. Very different than like, the Eastern Bloc or other countries. And then you watch this shit and you're like, this is normal. Like, this is a kid, okay? He's 19 years old. He's literally a fucking child. He's already working at an Amazon distribution facility. And that's it. That's his POV now. That POV is not one he arrived at on his own. That point of view is something that he arrived at through a steady dose of propaganda that he got from every single fucking facet of media that he consumes.
How often do you talk to the managers, or do you interact with them often?
Yeah, I interact with my manager.
Do you say, hey, what's up, or like?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's never no conversation like that, but they still tell me like, hey, what's up, man? I just get back to work. I want to get my own money, so I feel like Amazon is a good opportunity. I'm also in school, so I feel like they can help me while I'm in school. I'm gonna get into my career, so
okay.
Yeah, this is just a good stepping stone for me.
How is that any different than pro-union propaganda? The difference is that the distribution of resources is not necessarily on the fucking union side, because unions and pro-union propaganda comes from literal workers' wages. And under capitalism, the capital owners have the lion's share of the fucking wealth. Now, having said that, there's also a difference between good things and bad things. Pro-union propaganda is good because ultimately it changes people's minds about unionizing and allows them to come to terms with a group that is going to be able to fight for their best interests against the current power share that is fundamentally fucking broken and tilted in favor of those who own all the capital. So there's a difference between good things and bad things. Pro-union propaganda is good. Anti-union propaganda is bad. If you are, listen, you don't have to be a fucking communist to recognize this, okay? I'll just say it like this. A lot of you love sucking off social democracies in Europe, right? You love jerking off social democracies in Europe. You're like, oh, I'm not a communist, but I'm like and some of you are misguided. You think you're a neoliberal, but then you say you're a fucking social democrat, blah, blah, blah. You say you're a neoliberal, but then you look at Norway. I'll just explain it to you like this. Every single one of those Scandinavian nations, Nordic countries, every single one of those European countries you look to and say is like incredible in comparison to the United States has a degree of unionization within its labor force that is unfathomable in the U.S. Okay? Unfathomable. And that's the reason why those workplaces are better. That's the reason why those people are happier. That's the reason why they have more money, more power, more autonomy, more freedom, and ultimately it leads to even a higher tax rate for wealthy, a higher tax rate for corporations. It's just better ultimately as a consequence of the workplace power that workers in countries like that have. Yeah, and even when it's low, exactly, they have collective bargaining agreements that cover nearly the entirety of every fucking industry. Even if unionization rates are low, like in France, for example, which is I believe like 75% unionization rate in the workforce in the country of France. Their collective bargaining agreements cover the 98% of the entirety of the workforce. So, no matter what, the reason why, yeah, well, it's lower in comparison to like Iceland and shit. And yes, in America, it's 10%. In America, it is 10%. I think in France, it's like 73, I think. But in the United States, it's 10%. We have the lowest fucking percentage of unionization in the fucking United States. Sweden unionization is at 91%. Yep. France has 8.8% unionization. No, it's not. What the fuck? I thought it was like, holy shit. Wait, since when? Well, it doesn't matter. The collective bargaining agreements cover, yeah, see, there it is. France reported a union density of 9%. Collective bargaining covered 98.5% of workers in the same year. So, like, their entire workforce is covered under collective bargaining agreements, so it doesn't matter. Wait, I thought France was fucking 70%. What the fuck? Didn't I look at this recently? Maybe I was thinking of another country. I don't know why that's crazy. But yeah, in European countries, the collective bargaining agreements, France is pretty fucking low. It doesn't matter, chat. Do you not understand? Do you not fucking understand? Unions control the entire industry in the country of France. So everyone, even if they are a union member or not, are still basically covered under those same agreements. What matters is not the union density in countries like in some of these countries, but instead, France is super low, bad take. Moron! Listen to the words that are coming out of my fucking mouth. You dumb motherfuckers. You absolute brain dead buffoons that are in the chat that are like, it's 8%. One number smaller than other number. Collective bargaining agreements that unions have argued for cover nearly the entirety of the French labor force. Union density was 9% in 2014, while the collective bargaining agreements covered 98.5% of workers in that year. I don't understand. Shouldn't the other 91% have a say, though? No, they shouldn't. Do you want to know why the other 91% shouldn't have a say? Because they don't even need to think about it. Because of the collective bargaining agreements that have fucking fought for them already. Okay? No, they shouldn't have a say. What are they going to be like? I'm sorry. I would like to be paid less and have less benefits. Oui. I think this is what is important. Is that what they're going to say? The other 91% are going to be like, I need to be cacked more. What the fuck are you doing? I would like, oui. I would like the baguette in my ass. Harder. I'm sorry. I should be able to literally fucking consent to enslaving myself if I want to. Kind of fucked that there are laws against slavery now. I should be able to consent to sell myself into slavery. How insensitive of you. What about my point of view? Fucking idiot. Shut up. Shut up. You're too stupid to fucking think. Let others do it for you. I'm sick and tired of fucking babying motherfuckers who are like, well, I'm an American and I've had a oopsie. I had a libertarian moment. I had a unique thought. No matter how fucking stupid that unique thought is, it's a thought that's unique because I'm a fucking perfect little snowflake that is individual. And by virtue of me thinking that thought, it must be important. It must be described. It must be talked about. It must be endlessly pontificated on. No, you're a fucking idiot. Know your fucking stupid brain dead place. Shut the fuck up. Let the adults handle it for you. Okay? Okay. Collective agreement coverage is the industries and workplace regulations, benefits, and everything else that, like those contracts that you get when you fucking sign into work. It means the percentage of those contracts being being covered by actual fucking unions rather than individuals. In America, when you go to a workplace, you're doing an individual bargaining agreement basically every single time. Divided you beg, united you bargain. Okay? In France, in a country like France, for example, trade unions are already so powerful, or at least have like a complete fucking grasp over every single industry that that when you go and you fucking sign onto a contract, the agreement and the minimum workplace safety and the minimum benefits and whatnot have already been done. Like that bargaining has happened already by a trade union rather than individual contracts. Like CMAC explains it here perfectly. Chad, if the union makes a collective bargaining agreement in the auto industry, then that agreement covers all workers in the auto industry, even those who aren't union members. Exactly. Now, I want to show you the collective bargaining coverage in OECD countries so you get a better understanding of what the fuck's going on. Turkey's is dog shit. United States is at 11.6%. Okay? France, on the other hand, has a lower unionization rate than the United States of America, and yet they have the highest collective bargaining coverage percentage in their country. France, Austria, Belgium, Iceland, Sweden, Finland, Spain, Denmark, Italy, Netherlands, Portugal, Norway, Slovenia, Australia, Luxembourg, Switzerland, Germany. These are countries that have on average, higher collective bargaining coverage than the OECD average. Okay? Collective bargaining coverage. I already described it. It's when when a union goes to fucking car manufacturers and says every single automobile manufacturer is going to abide by this bargaining contract that we're putting forward to you. These are the bare minimum requirements. If you want to ever fucking hire someone for your workplace, it doesn't matter. They don't need to join the union, but ultimately you absolutely need to, as a fucking as an employer, have to abide by these rules. You have to at least give them, fucking a week off, a paid vacation, shit like that. I really think all this discussion is like theory casting compared to the issues facing the labor movement in the U.S. There are issues with our laws for sure, but unions are not working here well enough for members or people who want to organize. Seen it over and over again. Policy-wise, ProAct is like a grease to the wheels, but unions need to get their shit together. I agree, but the reason why I'm having this theory casting moment is so that I can fucking describe, like, people don't even have the fucking background information, Bizzle. You have to remember, like, they don't understand. They look to countries like fucking France or Austria or Belgium or Iceland, and they think, oh my God, why is it that those countries work better? Why is it that those countries have better workplace safety measures and better benefits than we do here in the United States? Well, there's a reason for it. It's literally fucking unions. So I'm trying to describe to them that even if they have a somewhat lower fucking rate of unionization in their workforce, What matters is the collective agreement coverage. And the collective agreement coverage in countries like France, even, which has a union density that is remarkably low, doesn't matter. Their collective bargaining coverage is at 98.5%. And France isn't even like the most positive representation of this, regardless. Okay? How do these unions have power over companies to make them agree? Militancy and also laws as a consequence of like militancy. Laws that have been in place for a very long time that protects workers over the interest of capital to restore some sense of balance in that bargaining process. General strikes, literal murder, killing scabs, doxing them, threatening people that fucking cross the picket line, straight up fucking throwing Molotov cocktails, shit like that. I mean, the French are crazy. They literally burn themselves and others in every weekend over laws that they don't think are just.